Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So I have not filmed a reading vlog for so long, and the reason is I've just been in the biggest reading slump for about the past 4 months. I've only read about 1 or 2 books a month, and even then it's been quite a struggle. And I did already film this intro for this video before, but I lost the footage, don't know what I did with it. I had makeup on, I looked semi-decent, and yeah, now covered in spots. Really didn't want to film this because I just look disgusting and feel disgusting, but yeah, otherwise I'm never going to start this video, so I'm going to start it now. But basically I thought I'd do this little vlog of me trying to get out of my reading slump, so trying to like force myself to read a certain amount of time a day, or like, I don't know, I just need to do something to get out of this little slump that I'm in. Well, big slump, because it's been like 4 months. Yeah, just had a lot going on in my life. Just haven't been in the reading mood, and I've been getting distracted by my phone super easily. So every time I go to read, I end up just scrolling through my phone and reading like 1 chapter. So it's just not great, to be honest. So I'm working from home today. I'm just having, well, I've just had some lunch, and I'm gonna have a few of these party rings because I fancy them, and continue reading what I'm currently reading, which is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I'm a little, I'll probably say I'm about halfway through, and I'm enjoying this so far. I'm not getting through it as quick as I thought I would, because I thought a thriller, well, I'm going to get through a thriller quickly because you want to know what's going to happen and you just want to get through it to find out how it ends. But I have really been enjoying it. I've just still been getting distracted by my phone. So I'm going to read a couple of chapters now before I get back onto doing my work, and then I think in the evening, every evening, I'm going to try and read for at least an hour without my phone anywhere near me, so I can't pick up my phone, because I just need to read. I want to get back into it because I love reading so much, and I've got so many books on my shelves I want to read. It's just been the story of my life for the past 4 months. This book's basically about 2 women. They're in their 40s, and they meet on their like birthday lunch kind of thing. I think they go out for dinner or lunch or something, and they discover that they were born on the exact same day, exact same year, so they're like birthday twins kind of thing. One of the women is called Alex, and she runs a podcast, and she gets and the other woman, Josie, convinces Alex to let her be on her podcast because she thinks her life's about to change or something. Yeah, and then Alex is slowly finding out things about Josie and Josie's life and Josie's husband, and things are very weird, and like things are weird with Josie's kids. Like one of Josie's kids is like, I think in her 20s or something, but she eats baby food, and her mum and Josie like drops it on her bedroom door, and she'll just eat this baby food, and it's really weird. I don't know why yet, but yeah, her husband just seems awful. And you're slowly sort of finding out a little bit more about them, and Josie also sounds really dodgy as well. And also there's things about Alex which just don't seem completely right, and Alex's relationship with her husband. There's also bits of like the podcast in the book as well, so there's a little bit of mixed media as well, which does help it go a little bit quicker. But yeah, that's sort of a rough idea about what the book's about. So I'm going to continue this for a little bit now, and then again this evening I'm going to try and hide my phone so I cannot go on my phone, and just hopefully get through some books in this video and just try and find my love for reading again, basically. The next day, and I've literally just finished None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, and I don't know what rating to quite give it. I might give it like a 4.25 because I did really enjoy it. I really enjoy most of her books, and they are very gripping, and this one I was very intrigued, especially in the kind of second half of the book. So yeah, and I read quite a lot yesterday actually. I think I read about 100 pages yesterday and then finished it off today, so that's probably the most I've read in a long time. And yes, I'm wearing the same top as I did yesterday, don't judge me. I'm trying to think kind of what I want to read next. I'm thinking kind of like something fantasy, but then I don't want to start like a really long series. Most fantasy books are like quite long series, and I don't really want to read a really long series. I've got, is it this one or no, this one. I've got this one to read, which is the last one in the series, but I'm not really feeling it because it's not like my favourite series of all time. I do need to finish it at some point, but I'm just not really feeling it right now. So I'm thinking maybe starting this series because I've heard really good things. But I've heard really good things about this series, especially the first one, so I feel like it might be a good time to read it, and because there's only 2 books in the series, it won't take me too long to get through. So it's not like a huge commitment. So I think I might do that. I'm currently on chapter 7 of Divine Rivals and I'm really enjoying this so far. I feel like this is definitely the kind of thing I'm in the mood for and have been in the mood for a little while. The main 2 characters are Iris and Roman. They're both writers and they're both sort of competing with each other for like the top kind of column in this newspaper that they work for called the Gazette. And also there's like a war going on at the same time, and Iris's brother has gone off to fight in the war. So she's been writing her brother letters and leaving them in her wardrobe, but they've been disappearing, and they've actually been turning up at Roman's house. So he's been reading all of her letters to her brother and he's just started writing to her back. So there's obviously something going to go on between those 2, as you can imagine. So far we don't really know much about the war or why it's happening or anything like that. We don't really know any of the details. But also Iris's family are very poor. It's just her and her mum at the moment living together because obviously her brother's gone off to war. And then Roman, his family is very rich, and I think his mum has recently died, and his dad's very controlling and he doesn't seem like a very nice person. So they're complete opposites to each other, Iris and Roman, by the sounds of it, but obviously we can imagine something is going to happen between the 2 of them. But I'm really enjoying this so far, so I'm gonna try and read for this afternoon. It's a Sunday now, so I'm just going to try and chill and read all afternoon really and see how much I can get through. Just a really quick update. I thought it was Roman's mum that had died, but I think it was actually his sister because it seems like his mum's still alive. So I think it must have been a sibling. I just realised my lips are blue because I just finished eating like this, and my teeth. I've just eaten like a jubbly ice lolly and it was a blue one, and yeah, it's just stained my lips blue, so it's not really great timing for filming. I should have filmed this clip first, so ignore my blue lips. It's now the next day. I'm just chilling in bed and I'm about to, because I've just settled down for the evening. I've been at work all day today, just showered, had dinner and all that kind of thing. So it's now just gone 7:30, so I've got maybe like a couple hours, 2.5 hours or so before I go to bed, like to sleep I mean. So I'm going to spend my evening continuing with Divine Rivals, and I'm over halfway. I've only got sort of that bit there left because last night I could not put this book down. I was absolutely loving this, and if I didn't have work today, last night I definitely would have just stayed up till like midnight and finished it because I was just so into it. I did not want to put it down because it is a fantasy book, but the main characters aren't magical or anything. There's just a few like magical objects, like the typewriters that they use to message each other and stuff. And also there's the war that's going on in the book is also like between gods, so that's sort of like the fantasy element of the book as well. But anyway, it's got to the stage where he knows that it's her sending the messages, but she doesn't know it's him. So it's just like, oh, when's she gonna find out? What's she gonna think? I'm just really enjoying it. It's not like super fast paced, but I feel like it suits the book. And I haven't felt this way in about a book for a long time, because as I said, I've been in a reading slump for about 4 months, so I've been struggling to get through a book. I've definitely not got through a book this quick in a long time. in my usual spot on the sofa, which I've probably filmed most of this vlog sat in this exact spot. It's the next day, I've just had some lunch, and as you probably saw, my sandwich was like 2 different breads. It's because we had some like fresh tiger bread, and we also had some like seeded brown bread, and I couldn't decide what I felt like eating, so why not have both? So I had half a sandwich with one, half a sandwich with the other, with some gammon left over from last night's dinner and some cheese and some mayo. So I've just had some lunch, and yeah, I was just basically going to quickly say that I finished Divine Rivals last night, and I loved it so much. It was so good. I did have very high expectations for it because it'd been so hyped everywhere, and everywhere had said it was amazing, and yeah, I just had really high expectations for it, and I did really, really enjoy it. So I think I'm going to give it a 4.75 stars. It just didn't have that 5-star feeling. I don't know. Even though I did race through this book, and I've enjoyed it more than I've enjoyed most books recently, I just feel like it wasn't quite 5 stars. I don't know, there was just something about it that wasn't quite 5 stars. I think maybe it needed not more depth, because it had depth, but I can't really explain it. I feel like if you're a reader, you know what a 5-star book feels like, but it was super, super close. So I loved that. And then while I was at work the other day, I started a book on my Kindle. I started reading the first Zodiac Academy book, The Awakening, because I've seen loads of TikToks about this series recently, and I just want to get into it. I don't really know what to expect, to be honest, but it sounds like it's going to be a very, very different series to anything I've ever read before, because it's a fantasy set at like a magical school called the Zodiac Academy, and they get sorted into like sort of houses, I suppose, like the Harry Potter books. I mean, I'm only like 3 chapters in, so I'm not very far at all. This is kind of what I'm gathering from it. Houses are sort of like water, air, fire, or whatever the 4 elements are, and they get to pick whatever their element is, they get put in that house. But if they've got multiple an affinity for like multiple elements, then they can pick what house they want to get put into. But that just kind of gives me Harry Potter vibes, but the rest of the book is definitely not Harry Potter vibes. So I've really not got very far into it so far. It's just sort of surrounding these 2 twin girls at the moment, Darcy and Tori, and they've just found out that they have magic. This guy called Professor Orion, or whatever, however you pronounce that name, he came and found them, and he's just taken them away to this school, and they've just found out they've actually got magical powers, which they didn't know, and they're a type of fae with these like elemental powers. So we will see, but apparently the first book's like a bully romance, and I think the second one probably is as well, and there's quite a lot of like low-key eating my packet, and I'm not really a fan of bully romances in general, because I feel that they're just horrible, but I'm enjoying the book so far, so I'm just going to keep going, see how I feel, and if I enjoy the book, then I will continue the series. But I really hope that I do like it, because loads of people go on about how amazing it is, and there's just so much like heartbreak and tension and so many characters, and I just want to be a part of it. So because I've just had lunch, I'm on my lunch break for work, I'm going to read for a little bit and then get back on with work, and then probably read some more this evening. So I'll give you an update when I'm like far enough into it. Maybe when I'm about halfway, I'll update you and see how I'm feeling about it then. But fingers crossed I like it, because I just want to. I am now about halfway through Zodiac Academy, the first book, and I am really enjoying it in a weird kind of way. I feel like the way to describe this book would be it's trashy, but it's addicting. I'm just hoping that the male main characters in this kind of redeem themselves at some point within the series, because at the moment all the male main characters, like the male, like the heirs, not the heirs to the throne, but like the main guys in this book, they're arseholes, basically. They're horrible, and they're like bullying the 2 girls, Tori and Darcy, the 2 main girl characters, the twins. They're just like bullying them and doing horrible things to them all the time. And even the professors at this school are horrible and are like bullying them as well. So it's just like really bizarre. And I'm really enjoying like the fact that there's literally all these different creatures. There's like unicorns, werewolves, vampires, all sorts of different creatures and stuff. And each like one of the fae, they are a different creature effectively. But I don't really know what kind of rating I would be giving it at the moment. I'm just completely mixed. Like I'm really enjoying it, but it's just like random, but I really enjoy it at the same time. So I've got 5 hours 22 minutes left. I'm on chapter 12. So I'm just going to read this for the next couple of days and get it finished. Weird angle. It's that I was going to use my big tripod, but I can't get the mini tripod off my camera. It's too stiff. Loki, don't knock that off. I've tried using pliers, but the pliers won't quite go round it, so that's really annoying. So I've sort of had to prop my camera up here in sort of a weird angle, but anyway, it will do for now. So my husband's been away for the past couple of days. It's now Sunday, and he's been away from Thursday. So he comes back today, sort of around dinner time. I did insert like a little clip. Me and my sister came round for dinner and we had pizza and we watched most of Heartstopper season 3, so that was really nice. And then, yeah, I've seen quite a lot of my mum and my sister over the weekend. But I did this morning finish Zodiac Academy, the first book. And I'm still kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this series or not, but I'm going to continue with it for another book or two to kind of get more of a feel for it. Because I heard after book 3 it gets better. Apparently, like book 3 onwards is sort of meant to be better. But one thing I did struggle with the book is the two main characters, Darcy and Tori. The book is told from both of their perspectives, so it switches. One chapter is Darcy's chapter and then the next is Tori's chapter from like first person perspective. But once we're in the chapter, it's hard to tell who's who. So I did get a little bit confused at parts who was who and who's had interactions with who, because both of their narratives sound pretty much the same. Like it's hard to distinguish between the two of them. Yeah, I found that a little bit hard. Loki. Seriously, with my cats, it's like having two children. So I'm not entirely sure what my feelings are on this. I did enjoy it and I enjoy the concept of the world and everything, but I don't really like any of the characters. They're all assholes and yeah, I just don't know how I feel about it. It's very different from any fantasy I've read before, so I'm probably going to settle on like a 3.5 rating maybe, because it was addictive but at the same time just a little bit at the same time. So anyway, that's that one done. And I've probably mentioned it before, but I'm part of like an in-person book club, and each month we choose a different book to read, and the book that was chosen this month is something very different than I'd normally read. It is this, The Girl Behind the Gates by Brenda Davis. So I think I'm going to start this next because I've got the whole day today. It's, as I said, it's Sunday. I did say it was Sunday, didn't I? Yeah. It's a really grumpy day. It's raining outside, it's windy, I'm feeling tired, so I'm just going to relax today and just read. Oh my god. My cats are going a little bit mental. So anyway, as I was saying, I'm just going to have sort of a lazy day today and just read really until my husband gets back later, and then I think we're going to order a Nando's, so that'll be nice. But I don't know how I'm going to feel about this, and it looks like the chapters are very long and the writing's quite small, so it's not ideal. But I'm going to see what I feel about it, because one person in our book club has read it and said it was really, really good. So I'm going to give it a go, and I might really like it. Over halfway in this book. I'm on page 204 and I'm actually really enjoying this, like surprisingly, because it's not the sort of book I would pick up off the shelf on my own accord, but because it's been chosen for book club book, obviously I'm reading it. But I'm actually really enjoying this. But oh god, the storyline is so horrific, as in like what the main character has been through, and the fact that this is based on a true story and this happened to people. That's just horrific, like how people can be treated this way. It's just horrendous. So basically the plot starts off, there's this young girl, she's 17, and she finds out she's pregnant, and she's not married or anything like that. She's in a religious family, and obviously they don't agree with having children before marriage and things like that. They end up sending her away pretty much, and the things that happen to this girl is just absolutely horrendous. And now the part that I'm in the book, I'm on part 2, which is now 44 years after she was sent away. And it's sort of how she's dealing with everything and what she's like now, and it's just horrendous. It's a very good book, it's very well written, but yeah, it's just heartbreaking. It's just hard to read at times, but in a good way. Like, it's a really good book. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's a really good book, but it's just the things that happen in it are just horrendous. But I'm fully enjoying it, and I don't know how many pages I've got left. I've got just over 100 pages left, so I should finish this within the next day or two, and then I'll give you a final update and my final rating, and then probably end this video. But yeah, really enjoying this. I'm currently sat on the floor by my bookshelf just because it's the only place where lighting is kind of okay, because it's really dark today for some reason. It's just super dark. But anyway, last night I finished The Girl Behind the Gates, and I did really enjoy this. It was such a good book. Very sad, but also full of lots of healing and recovering from like a traumatic time. So I definitely preferred the first half of the book compared to the second half of the book. Otherwise I think this could have been like a closer to a 5 stars, but I think I'm going to give this a 4.25 overall, because I did really enjoy it, but there was just a couple bits in the second half which were a little bit slow for me, but I did fully enjoy this and I would definitely recommend it. So now I've finished that, that's probably the end of this video. So I read quite a few books in this video, and I feel like I'm mostly out of a reading slump. I'm gonna touch wood, because I really hope that I am, because I just want to read now and get back into reading really. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm out of my reading slump. So anyway, I'm gonna end the video here, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye for now. Say goodbye.